Ladies and gentlemen, I am the veteran Jack Vaughn, and I am here to dispense to you just a little tidbit about my vast knowledge of professional wrestling. Now, it is the end of 2020. It looked a lot different than most years that we've had in this business. Now, just because you only had about 6 to 8 matches this year because of COVID, definitely because of COVID and not because you're a terrible professional wrestler, that doesn't mean that you can't have the best 2020 highlight video. And I'm here to give you some tips on how to make this highlight video the best that it can be under the circumstances. If you're an indie wrestler, chances are you do 4 moves. You do a dive, you do a strike, a suplex, and a slam. Now the first thing that you need to consider is this, the length of the video. You don't want it to be too short because you got to showcase all of your 4 moves. But you also don't want to make the video too long, because if you do that, you might hurt the people with the amount of awesome that they're going to see from all the pat by German suplexes you did. Because let's face it, if you're an indie wrestler, you do a pat by German suplex. The next thing you have to consider is what song are you going to use to play over all of your sick highlights. Now, you definitely want something hard rock, but you don't want to go too heavy metal because then people might think you're a little weird. You definitely want a band that's mainstream and marketable. So what I'm really saying is, you need Nickelback. But what I'm really saying is, you need Rockstar from Nickelback. So I think for the length of the video, you go a solid 3.5 minutes. No more, no less. Not 3:29, not 3:31, 3.5 minutes on the dot. Stick to your times. And now that you have the length of the video down and you have the music chosen, now it's all about putting together those sweet highlights. Now, as we've already established, you are an indie professional wrestler, which means that you have 4 moves, one of which is a strike. Now, this is independent wrestling, so let's be completely honest with ourselves. You do a super kick and or a ripcord jumping knee strike. The second move is your suplex, and we have already driven home the point that you do a pat by German suplex. And thirdly, you have your slam. Now, the slam could be any number of moves. As long as it looks like you drop your opponent on their head, that's all that really matters. And fourth, you have your dive. Everyone has a dive. Now, if you're an out-of-shape white guy, like I'm certain you probably are, you can't do anything cool, which means that you do a suicide dive because you can't jump over the ropes. But here's the wild card, my friend. Wait for it. Canadian Destroyer. If you're an indie wrestler, you undoubtedly have a highlight of you doing a Canadian Destroyer. Throw that thing in there every few moves. Doesn't matter if it's the same clip, just keep using it because that's what everyone wants to see. No one ever gets sick of it. No one ever gets sick of it. Now it's time to edit your video. This is where the magic happens, folks. This is where you figure out exactly how many times you show people your 4 moves, possibly 5 moves if you're good. So the correct answer here is 8 times per move. Exactly 8. 7 is too little, 9 is too many. 7 doesn't get the point across, 9 is overkill. Now that we have all the moves spliced together, you gotta break them up a little bit. You gotta have shots of you making your entrance, you gotta have shots of you posing in the ring, maybe some shots of you holding up a title. Call those the money shots. Is that what we call those? We don't call them the money shot. Do not call those the money shots. Alright, the hard work is over, folks. You got the video down. Your sweet 3.5 minute video to Nickelback's Rockstar showcasing your 4 to 5 moves is done. So now comes the most important part. Who do you send it to? The correct answer is everyone. You gotta send one to the WWE. You gotta send one to AEW. You gotta send one to New Japan. You gotta send a highlight video to every credible wrestling promotion that you know of. Because professional wrestling promoters love highlight videos. Promoters love highlight videos. You don't even understand. They definitely don't turn it off in the first 4 notes of the song because, as I've already said, promoters love highlight videos. Send it to all of them. It's definitely going to get you booked. The next thing you have to do is upload the video to YouTube and share it on all of your social media 17 times a day. You got to make sure that people see it. And if you want to be really sure, send it to all of your friends in their direct messages and beg them to share it. Listen, you're not being annoying. You're just a kid trying to live your dream. And this is what needs to be done. And then, you just wait for those phone calls to come in, brother, because you are going to have one heck of a 2021 in professional wrestling. So there you have it, folks. Those are my tips for your 2020 professional wrestling highlight video. I hope they helped you out a little bit. I am the veteran Jack Vaughn. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel, and you can follow me on Instagram at VetJackVaughn. And last but not least, I will post a link in the description to my change.org petition to get the super kick banned from professional wrestling, because remember, if every kick is super, then no kick is super. God bless you.